Iraq's economy relies heavily on oil. It's their bread and butter, their hummus and pita. Oil revenue makes up a huge chunk of their income, over 90%. This dependence is a double-edged sword. High oil prices mean big bucks for Iraq, but when prices drop, the economy feels the pinch. This reliance on oil makes Iraq vulnerable. Global oil prices swing like a pendulum, and Iraq's economy swings with it. This can make it tough for the government to plan for the future. They need stable income to fund schools, hospitals, and other essential services. The Iraqi government knows this is a problem. They've been trying to diversify the economy to find other sources of income, but it's a slow process. Oil is still king in Iraq, and that makes them dependent on the whims of the global market. The Iraqi oil and gas law is like a relationship agreement, but instead of couples, it's about the Iraqi government and the Kurdistan region. Both want control of the oil, which is a big deal because oil equals money and power. The Kurds have their own government, the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG. For years they've been selling their oil independently. This new law would put a stop to that. It says all oil revenue has to go through Baghdad. The KRG is not happy about this. They see it as Baghdad trying to muscle in on their territory. They argue that they have the right to manage their own resources. The Iraqi government says it's about national unity, about making sure everyone benefits from the country's wealth. Writing the Iraqi oil and gas law is like trying to herd cats. Everyone has an opinion, and getting them to agree is like trying to get a room full of toddlers to nap at the same time. The law is supposed to set the rules for everything related to oil and gas in Iraq. Who gets to explore for it? Who gets to sell it? How is the money divided up? These are all big questions, and there's no easy answer. The law has been in the works for years. It's been drafted, redrafted, and debated endlessly. Every time it seems like they're close to an agreement, something comes up and throws a wrench in the works. Section 4, a game of inches: committees, disputes, and delays. The Iraqi oil and gas law is stuck in a committee which is like purgatory for legislation. It's where bills go to die a slow and painful death. Various government committees are supposed to be reviewing the law, but progress has been glacial. Part of the problem is that there are so many different groups with a stake in the outcome. The Kurds want one thing, the Sunnis want another, and the Shias have their own ideas. Getting them all on the same page is like trying to herd cats. Then there are the international players. Foreign oil companies have a vested interest in the Iraqi oil sector, and they're not afraid to throw their weight around. The United States, too, has been involved, trying to broker a deal that works for everyone. Section 5, high-stakes economic and political implications of the law. The Iraqi oil and gas law is a big deal. It's not just about oil, it's about power, money, and the future of Iraq. The way the law is written will have a huge impact on the country's economy and political stability. If the law is seen as unfair, it could lead to more conflict. The Kurds have already threatened to walk away from Iraq altogether if they don't get their way. A new oil law could either bring Iraq together or tear it apart. The international community is watching closely. They know that a stable and prosperous Iraq is in everyone's best interest, but they also know that Iraq needs to solve its own problems. Section 6, a global stage: international reactions and potential solutions. The Iraqi oil and gas law is being closely watched by countries around the world. They understand that a stable Iraq is crucial for global energy markets and regional security. However, interfering directly is tricky. Some countries, like the United States, have a long history of involvement in Iraq. But after years of war and instability, there's a sense that Iraq needs to find its own solutions. The international community can offer support and encouragement, but ultimately, it's up to the Iraqis to decide their own future. The best hope for Iraq is dialogue. All sides need to come to the table and negotiate in good faith. This will require compromise from everyone. But if they can find a way to share the country's oil wealth fairly and equitably, it will be a major step towards a brighter future for all Iraqis.